Wow, they were scarily on point after all, although not completely after all. You know, there is a theory out there that I didn't 100% believe in. I mean, don't get me wrong, they were very good theories. But at the same time I find no proof of that, but this is actually one of the first references of it. Not exactly confirming the theory though, but it is confirming that what they suspected that this separate species did exist, and it did exist, just not the way we thought about it. The Dark Elves. All the justice goes to those who have had those theories out there. An amazing theory, really. So this is the Black Clover, chapter 198. I mean, the spices should be happy. The demon is not defeated in one blow, although that would have been more likable. At the same time, we need a little bit more despair before everything else goes. And it turns out his healing his words magic can even allow him to heal. He says heal, and everything he has immediately heals. So yes, that really is a broken power. Although shouldn't he just say die and the other people should just die? Or is that the limit? Or is he just that sadistic and not wanting to do it? Either way, this chapter of that I'm giving the review of Angry Anime Fan does confirm a lot of things which I was actually happy for. Of course, the one theory that is still confirmed is still not there. But hey, I have a feeling it will never get answered. Either way, he praises Asta and Juno, saying that Juno has a spiritual elven power, as well as Asta holding the Grimoire that should have been the devil's. He even mentioned, I don't know what demon you are. I mean, we all know that Asta has a demon inside of him, but we do not exactly know what kind of demon that is. Possibly implying that that is not a demon that is connected to all of this incident. Either way, we're finally seeing Reyes and Vatros again. I mean, last time we saw Reyes, he was fully intending on killing Patri. However, then they have been hiding underground that way and actually discovered the entire ruse, much to his shock. It's the fact that Patri used them, and someone was used by him, and Patri just keeps on falling deeper and deeper into despair. His 4-leaf clover changes into a 5 black clover, which is a grimoire of despair. As the devil reveals that the one who wields 4-leaf clovers, grimoires, when they are swallowed by deep despair, then the 5-leaf is born. That is how Lich's grimoire became a 5. He was swallowed up by despair in the massacre, and that is how it was born. And so the devil begins to preach that at long last he will have a flesh body and a dark grimoire that are here. As a devil in this prison form, he will manipulate his true power and form. 500 years ago, everything was going well, but surprisingly not until the Grimoire of Despair was born. Because at the very last moment they just had to resist. It's not exactly confirmed though what that meant. Does that mean that Lich cast something to stop all this, or did something else happen? I mean, we all know that the demon that attacked the kingdom, it has to be real, right? Is it possible that Lich summoned that not to punish humankind but to warn them? And that is how the first Magic Emperor became aware of this? Either way, that is why the devil cast the forbidden magic. He corrupted their souls with evil making and making their minds easier to steal. And that should be a stepping stone easy. As he grabs the grimoire of Patri's despair, he still gloats that this has been so fun. Juno and Asta charge against him again, but then says that your opponent is not me. And it's during this one moment that we actually at long last see it. You all remember every single time an elf have been ravaging in great despair. There were some theories out there that suggested that they will become demons. And there were even some suggested that the Dark Elves were connected to this. Well, it turns out it's a mixture of both. When an elf falls into extremely deep despair, and especially when the devil says, run now, run wild, the corruption in their soul becomes so much that their hatred and despair manifest themselves, and they no longer become just an elf. No, they become dark elves. And that is the connection. So when an elf falls into extreme despair, they become dark elves. That is the truth. Although it's a little bit dangerous to have dark elves being the despair one, you know, for a very stupid reason, but you know why. Either way, corrupted by his hatred, self-loathing, everything more, now Patri is no longer the one who says, now he can even use dark light magic. Nice combination. And surprisingly is even more powerful than before, as Juno and Asta barely can keep up with him. So with that, as he says, as the devil does more taunting, saying that those are the dying embers of a heartless man, he says now he has released the phenomenal magic of the Grimoire sea within. So he says he will go ahead. As he flies up to the exit, he has one final glimpse at Asta and says that Asta is still a magicless good-for-nothing who wields it. However, he does say before he dies, better her steal his body. However, Dark Patri refuses to let even Juno and Asta get even near close to one. As Asta proclaims that I know you can forgive humans and I can forgive you, but we should be able to understand each other, so get out of my way. But Patri just unleashes even more of his hate. But it's during this time that two very powerful people begins to appear. This one is Nozel and Jami. Finally Jami appeared again. I was beginning to be afraid he had died. But yeah, a solid chapter again from Black Clover. And also it's nice to see that the theories that a lot of people had were very close to being true. It was a fusion of both. We were some who thought that elves becomes demons when they fall into despair. And I think there were someone who guessed that elves will become dark elves if they fell into despair. And it turns out there was a mixture of both. Falling deep into despair, especially corrupted by something like the reincarnation magic, will cause one magic to become corrupted, and therefore they become dark elves. And that seems to imply what happened to Lich, which is another reason why he doesn't have his mind. His mind was so wandered off in hate and corruption that he is lost and cannot yet find himself. Maybe. What else is there to say about it? Well, dark light magic just like darkness magic, if you ask me, right now. But two powerful people may soon join up them. I wonder if that's enough to have it. Still no confirmation though on what Asta has inside of himself. But the fact that even the devil himself do not know possibly implies that Asta is not tied to a demon that is connected to this. Or maybe he is connected to a demon who was connected to this, just not, you know, this plot, but someone else. So Lich fell into despair, and that's how his Grimoire became corrupted, and that is why the magic in the swords disappear. And that's why it's anti-mana. Filled with despair makes mana hate you, therefore you create anti-mana. And Asta is the only one who can wield that. He's basically hope, but he is wielding a Grimoire of despair. It's a confusing scenario. However, I think it has a point to it all. So yeah, Patri is now more dangerous than ever. I'm glad that he's fighting though, because that way he can finally see it all. He is drowning in his own hatred. In the end, he was truly a pawn. But the devil truly is an evil character. He has the Grimoire now, so what is he gonna use with it? I have no idea. But you give me your thoughts if you have.